on Twitch, y'all. We
Too
live on
live.
Instagram, so
Too
there's
live
no
crew.
excuse to miss the mental.
Sweet. So there's so much to talk about today because we recently were on Complex.
Huh?
You want to talk over the
Oh, do you want to? Want to down the way? You want to cut it?
Yeah.
Okay. What we doing?
I'm like, I can't. Yo, what up?
Hey, y'all. I got a little carried away. My bad.
Don't worry, you're gonna have your moment. So today we're drinking a bit on piece for teeth and five wax eye from Chronicles. So you're watching me kind of shit. So
Do.
I need a little Kindle, and that's what I need. I'm my tools. Let's start because I took it recently on Complex, on second ever physical meeting. Yeah, that they had in their series of design.
First one. So you know.
Okay, but it was definitely a super argument, and I'm sure y'all probably had shocked too, like even looking at. So I know yesterday was like, oh, did you out to you? So they reached out saying, like within the journey, I haven't really done a lot of outreach stories. The first is I think Gardens always named the same with the community that I'm in. So and also Instagram, that's another little community that I feel. Yeah, so like good, like, and I feel like we had been like around and like. I don't know. I've just never.
Alternative, like, yeah.
Yeah, I've just never felt like, oh my God, let me shout out to like Vogue and all things like that. I don't know. Just I've never.
But I feel like that was our day today also. I feel like we don't really chase. I'm not a chaser. I don't know. That's why I say I'm a chaser. Bitch, I don't chase nothing. Come to me. You know the law of attraction and what is the saying? You attract more bees with honey than vinegar.
Than vinegar. Yeah, I don't know. I just always felt like if I have to go out of my way to like show you how special I am, then
Is it
I don't know.
really-
It takes something
yeah.
away from. I don't
yeah,
know.
the magic of it.
I'm just like, y'all will see it, and if y'all see it, y'all will like it. So obviously, a lot of that exposure came from doing Ayo Adebree's Grills, and we did speak about that a little bit. And the person who was interviewing me was super curious just about like the process. And yeah, as y'all know from the last live that we did here, that I also reached out to us through the Frog Girls post. So yeah, in terms of really reaching out to like magazines and publications, it's not really something that.
That's not our tea.
It's very time consuming. I much rather make art and just
Yeah.
put it out in the world and have
And
people
see,
come.
what sticks.
I also had somebody else ask me whether this was gonna be like a one-hit wonder kind of thing, like, oh, you know, you got you got you got like.
I just had to laugh.
I just had to laugh.
I just had to laugh. It's a valid question.
It is. It is
For
a valid question.
any art in this day and age.
What?
No.
All right, ask your
Ooh.
question then.
Because we didn't even
Ask
we didn't call
it.
you out.
Yeah.
we didn't. You just called yourself out. It's a valid question because in this day and age, you know, bitches come and they go.
They do.
And there's no real sustainability in the art. But I feel like Mental Gardens and Vanessa in general, as an artist, has proven that time and time again that it's not just one-off. It's not like you got to keep gagging.
Yeah, I mean, I've been
Like
doing
10
it,
plus.
yeah, since I was 15, 16. So I just feel like.
No, literally.
Yeah, like
and worked on it and just kind of like, yeah.
I feel like in terms of like one hit wonder, I feel like that would be valid if I just stopped making art. And so I haven't stopped making art, but I did kind of pause on posting for a minute because I got really overwhelmed.
Yeah, the girls probably were nervous. They were like, oh my God, where did MG go? Y'all
Yeah.
seen MG? Like, let's put out the alert.
I actually did get really, I don't know, anxious, and I recently started posting again, and thankfully all the love is still there. But if you scroll all the way down to the end of my Instagram, like you will see my first post is from like 2015. And throughout all these years, I've had like ebbs and flows where I'm posting all the time, my strategy's up, I really feel like I'm connecting with everybody on the platform. And then there's moments where I swear like I just get in my head and like I just kind of want to isolate and it feels really difficult talking to everybody. And having you on the team really helped balance that out. Would you want to talk a bit about your experience? Like,
I mean, I feel like us are very moody people to put like a word to it. I feel like it also helps with the balance because in any like good partnership, any working partnership, whenever one person's down, the other person's up, or vice versa. And I feel like a lot of times that just shows like the strength to the partnership and if it is actually able to work because we can't always expect to be like on our 10 at any given moment, especially as an artist, especially who's alternative, who's putting themselves out there to be almost criticized and like consumed by the world. So you just gotta, make sure you don't get eaten up. You gotta eat.
Yeah. Bonnie, you did have some great questions that we were talking about yesterday. Would you like to ask in the mic? Because I feel like you're very thought-provoking.
Let's bring Mike.
Yeah, let's bring the
set.
Cockmeister. Yes. No, because Juancy got some questions.
Guadalupe.
I'm here with the answers.
I don't remember what my questions were. But I think what we were talking about, I mean, I think sustainability is a super real thing. But I think primarily, like, how do you navigate, like, the hype? Like, how do you be true to your value system, to the way that you're, like, approaching your work, and also knowing that this is, like, this is also a part of a fashion era, if you will, because you are working in an ecosystem of people who are making grills. Obviously, you're in a lineage here. Is there going to be a moment where this transitions into something else because grills are no longer that popular or whatever it is, and how do you think about that, or do you think about that?
Yeah, so I feel like with the skill that I learned, like I can't ever just let that go. And also that I started making grills because every time I would see people wearing them, I would get my own ideas. So in terms of like, like if grills were to stop being popular, like if I were to stop making grills, I learned that I know how to make it now. Like, and it took me so fucking long to even get to a point where I can diagnose things. Like, I just want to go deeper and deeper into the art of it. Like, I don't see myself. And at this point, from a person that's been kind of like, selling things on Instagram for like a decade, a little bit more, I feel like I've seen so many trends like come and go, and I'm so comfortable with what niche I land in, and I understand that right now, like I remember, like maybe 6 years ago, like very like hippie wire wrap, like very like organic type jewelry was like really, really popular, and I fit in that niche. And then I saw the jewelry and accessory space kind of change into a more like cyber sigil, like more metal, and I've just stayed where I'm at. Like I just want to continue doing what I'm doing, and I trust that as trends cycle, like even if I'm out for, let's say 3 years, like my shit just isn't trendy, like I'm still gonna be making what I'm making, because after that, like I give it some more time, and then before I know it, like my niche is trendy again. I just make what I want to make. Yeah, but I will always be making grills.
Hey,
yeah.
Grills are a cultural staple.
Yeah.
For sure.
Exactly, yeah. We're immersed in that culture here. So it's like taking the time to learn how to make something so relevant to where I'm from. Like, I feel so happy to be able to know how to do this.
And can you talk a little bit about like your particular style? Because I mean, from what I'm sure that you are also a part of like a group of people who are making grills in like with the rawness that you kind of make your work. It's not particularly like super, like it look like there's people who make grills that could have been made with a machine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's like, one style, and they're very clean and very pretty or whatever, but like that's definitely not your style. Mm-hmm. And can you talk a little bit about, maybe other people who work like that, and like you thinking like, yeah, that contrast of this like heavily refined, like almost like, yeah, unnatural grills, and like yours that are like super.
So there's a couple of reasons for that. I'm not hung up on perfection in order to put work out. And this learning how to work with wax on teeth was incredibly difficult. So if I had tried to like perfect the polishing and make everything, look like it came out from a, from a computer, like I would have never posted anything. So I don't really succumb to that. Like, and I enjoy just knowing when a piece is done. Like I'll just feel it. I'll be like, if I keep doing this, it's gonna change the voice of it. Like I'm just gonna leave it, and I feel like even within my designs, like some things are like very whimsical, other things are very like sharp. I don't know. I feel like I also just play a lot. I'm also very inspired by the designs that people order, and that I'm being paid to like collaborate with them to make these pieces. And so, does that mean that I don't want my work to be better? Of course not. I definitely.
Right, but that doesn't even mean better, right? Like it's a style, right? It's a choice, and there's some people who are like, this is really my thing. And I'm sure that there's other people who work in like your style. And maybe that's also something, maybe consciously or unconsciously, right? Like you're developing that in your own way, right? I have seen like the people who make the protruding grills when it comes out like that, but they're also like kind of mechanical, like kind of cyborg-y.
Yeah.
But yours are not that. Yours are like, like it came out of a fucking metal refinery, like the drip, it's like, it's got that. And
yeah, very ancestral, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't want to put it in better, I'm not saying it's bad or good.
I guess when I say better, I just means in terms of the craftsmanship, because you will feel the difference from a piece, especially on your teeth, like something that's so sensitive. You'll feel the difference on how well they polish like the inside, if it clicks, how tight it is. So I guess that's what I mean. And I have that patience and that knowledge with myself to know that comes with time. But yeah, in terms of the design, I'm gonna keep doing what the fuck I want to do. Like, yeah, I don't really. I just want to keep playing. This is all play.
Beautiful. I'm gonna come up with some more questions back
yes!
A little brainstorming.
And what do you think,
Shout out
Brock,
to Wansi.
as you've seen?
I was
in
gonna
the
say,
studio?
so I feel like even because I started off as a consumer as well, somebody who loved your jewelry, and met you making jewelry before grills, and I feel like just you as a jeweler in general, if there was some sort of trendy ebb and flow to things, that you would just ride the wave and just figure out whatever new niche jewelry there is to make. Or you've also expressed other different like dreams of metalwork in lifestyle, like I don't want to give away too many ideas or anything like that, but like just other ways to incorporate metalwork, jewelry, plants, just our kind of like lifestyle and world that we live in, and just kind of making it expand. I feel like it really is just like a mental garden. You water it and it grows. I say that shit for key and giggle at the markets, but I'd be like, nah, like
It's true.
this is your reminder. Do not forget to water your brain. Ooh, money bar food.
But yeah, I feel like I've been doing this for so long that they will have to kill me before I stop.
To the death of me.
Yeah, so it's more so of like
Death Before Dishonor, featuring Baby Mother. Last song I
I'm
played.
just like excited to see how else the ideas can evolve, but I really do believe that at the root of it, I will always be showcasing plants and bugs and all the weird shit and bones. That's been consistent from when I started. And as I've learned more techniques and worked more with metal, I've just incorporated, so.
It's just the South Florida magic that,
It really is.
we gotta show it off. They always get kind of confused or misconstrued about Florida in general, but yeah, South Florida is definitely different in the best way possible.
In the best way.
Yeah, we'll just continue to show y'all.
Yeah, I'm excited to be a part of the artists here in Miami that are just doing it and showing off, like what they can make. Do you have any questions? Anything that?
So,
Ooh.
I gotta go to the other side.
Do you want?
We got Akaya coming over for some pressure point questions. Pressing pressure
Pressing
point question.
questions with pressure
Pressing
point.
questions by pressure point.
The pressure's on. So, in this 10-year career, what is a lesson that you learned from the valleys that it's sustaining you today?
Just keep building your stamina. Like it will never die. It'll never end unless you quit. So throughout all these years, I've had to take breaks. So like I think the longest break I took was like 2 years. Yeah. And I definitely thought like in my head that like something else was gonna come in and that was it. It was just gonna be a cute memory. But I always found myself coming back to that. And when you see that type of pattern in your life, like you have something you like and you try to let it go and it comes back, just focus on it. I don't, it's so much. Just focus, dedication, discipline. This shit built my character.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, with this being, your art being the driving force around your character, what is your motivation?
My motivation is like autonomy, independence, and not having anybody really like dictating what I'm doing, and then just being an example.
Yeah.
You know, like just by being, other people feel like, wow, I can do the same thing, and like, but not really trying to tell people what to do. Just like, yo, there's somebody doing something that you couldn't have imagined, or maybe you want to do, but somebody else is doing it. Now you just being a resource. Yeah.
I also want to like touch on the liberatory aspect of you are your own boss. A lot of people are in this time period, especially being in like the corporate workforce, are finding out that like there is no other that kind of sustainability and stability is false unless you're like really creating and manifesting your potential. So speak a little bit about that. Like, I think that's, it's just so unique to our generation. I feel like we're probably the closest at this point to how our ancestors probably would have lived as merchants and free enterprising and free market.
Tradespeople, people that learn something and
and can offer it back in a real way.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I kind of come, my mom is like that. My mom, like, she literally dropped out of school and just learned how to do hair, worked at a salon, hated it, so got her own clients and did her own thing. My father is like that as well. Like, he used to just sell food at the beach. He had a food truck. It was all it's always been very, like, kind of grassroots, but like very hustler, very scrappy, like never allowing yourself to hit rock bottom, you know what I mean? And now being in my generation and kind of living in that way during like a recession, during post-pandemic.
Yeah. And finding success.
Yes. That's why I really do feel like I really can't fail, because there's been so many eras in my life where the world around me is kind of crashing and burning and I'm still being lifted. Yeah. And so I honor my angels, my guides, like that like chorus of angels that I have around me by just continuing to do it, even when I feel like, damn, like I don't know. Like I remember there was a year, I think it was 2021 or 2022. My Instagram was like flopping. Everything was like, nothing was giving anymore. And I mean, that brought me to starting doing markets again. But I'm fine now.
Yeah.
And it just, stuff like that just reminds me, like, even when I'm down, it's just a moment for me to redirect my efforts and my energies. And yeah, like being like there's many times where I'm like selling at a market. Yeah. And I just feel like, wow, this is not, like this is something, I'm repeating history in a way. I feel very proud.
I think we all feel very proud. It's a beautiful thing to like be present for. So, I ain't got no more questions. But you were
Viewer questions.
Viewer questions.
Viewer questions.
We got a question from N65 Slime Dough.
Slime.
He's got a bunch, so I'm gonna just ask a couple.
Period.
How do you ensure a grill fits comfortably and safely?
So a lot of it starts with the mold and how we carve it. It really begins with the impression. So if the impression is bad already, right there, the grill is not gonna fit
Gotta
well.
have a good first impression.
Yeah, exactly. The first impression is everything. Once you get that good first impression and you get your stone, you have to carve out the gum line. That process took me a really long time to like really understand, because that's what helps your grills click. But then if your carving is sloppy or you're digging into the tooth, now you're changing the anatomy. And once that person puts it on, it's not gonna work. And also polishing on the inside, because if you leave that straight raw out the casting, there's gonna be bubbles, there's gonna be sharp edges. So it's a lot of really tiny detailed work, going little by little, putting it on, little by little, putting it on, and just like, and then knowing when to stop. Because once you take, you can't put back. So it's a real like heady process. Ooh. And a lot of burning yourself. Like, Brock literally sees me burn myself in the studio all the time.
Do you sketch ideas first, or do you work hands-on and just like to play around and kind of like free form, or both?
I do both now. When it comes to freestyles for myself, I'll just play. But when it comes to clients, like in the beginning, I used to just make stuff out of wax and then show them, and they would want like tweaks, and I'd be like, damn, like now I just spent like 3 hours making this, now I gotta cut it off. So I have learned to just draw things before I make them in wax, because it's less taxing on my body and less deflating when somebody wants to change something. And then by the time I hit the wax, like I'm ready to go and there's no changes. Like
Are there, he also asks, are there any trends in grills or jewelry right now that you're seeing that you're really excited about?
Any trends that I'm really excited about? I really like grills that have moving pieces in them.
Oh yeah.
Like that to me is just a show of like craftsmanship.
I saw one that was a fidget spinner.
Yeah.
You saw that one?
It takes
Crazy.
real craftsmanship to know how to rivet, to know how to that. And I would love to make those things. I simply just don't have the training. So when I see things like that, I'm really like, damn, you tore.
Are there people in South Florida that like you could train with? Like, what does that kind of? I know there's people that do like apprenticeships. I know in New York, I'm sure there's a ton, but I don't know. Is that a thing down here?
So I had. Should I share the name? I don't know.
Names.
Benzino, I'm coming for you, Benzino. Benzino girls, I'm coming for you. No, because Benzino hit me up and trying to sell me grills. And I was like, oh my God, like first of all, I don't know I was just like, I'm honored. I can't believe you're like reaching out to me. I like saw it in that way. And I was like, I also make grills, like I would love to link up. And then he blocked me.
Why?
He blocked me.
Why?
I don't know. There's this other grills maker.
Oh, it was an accident.
It wasn't, like, no. He literally blocked me on Force Fingers. I'm like, and this was very early on in me making grills, so I don't know what type of competition I was to him. I don't know, but he definitely closed that door. There was this other grill maker in Pompano that I met at an event, and we vibed very, very, very well. And he was like, oh, like, yeah, I like the things that you do. Like, I want you to come help me out and, like, just help me do things. And then I'd message him, and it was kind of like nothing. It was crickets. And then the last time I sent him a message, he was with, I forgot his name, but yeah, another big grills maker here in Miami. And I was just like, please, like, I need a link. Left me on red. Last time.
Wow.
Last time I
Wow.
will ever.
Wow.
I'm so over it.
But you know what this is bringing up is the misogyny of this space, right? And I mean, obviously you're just doing your fucking thing because fuck them boys, but you know, how are you? Are there other femmes that are grill makers?
There is, yeah. So
Are y'all?
I just got introduced. I just met another grill maker that's been making grills for like a year. Her Instagram is Goldface.
Goldface.
Yeah, shout out to Goldface. And yeah, she followed me. I followed her back. So such a sweetheart. And hopefully there can be some sort of like collab or yeah, I would love to bring her on the team as well to like obviously pay her to help me kind of with the workload of Mental Gardens. But again, it always kind of puts me in the position where like I'm the expert and I'm tired. I'm not, I'm the baby.
But there's got to be somebody.
There's another artist, oh man, I gotta get her name. Anya Grills. She was the one, a huge inspiration for me. A lot of her grills are super colorful, chunky. They also look very waxy, like handmade. And I hit her up and I told her like, yo, you're one of my inspirations. Like, I'm in love with you. Thank you for being you. You helped give me permission to be myself, all the things. And she responds to me with her price sheet. I'm just
What?
like, yeah, I don't know what it is. And this is also why I don't even reach out to publications and stuff like that. Because I just feel like I have this little thing where like if I go and ask, I get rejected.
Why are people so mean?
I don't know.
What's this gatekeep?
Yeah. Like, why are you trying to clown something?
The jewelry industry is very gatekeepy. Very. Because people come up with their own techniques to doing things that are very unique to them.
Right.
And then they just don't want to share that. And you know what? I understand that. I'm not even mad at it. That's why I don't even go and I try to like reach out. Anything I've learned, I've paid for it.
But I wonder if boys deal with the same thing. You know what I mean? Because they all friends. They all in their cute little boy grill
So
community.
I do know a couple of boys. They're not here. They're in New York. And I will say, there have been 2 grill makers within my community that have consistently held my hand and nurtured me through this process. And that's gonna be Jalija from Fine Ass Fronts. I know y'all know Jalija. Fine Ass Fronts does some amazing, incredible, clean, impeccable work. We're very different on the spectrum of the things that we make, but we meet because of our passion, our love, our curiosity, and just both of us being new in the industry. And anytime I've ever had any questions about anything, I always know I can pick up the phone and Jalajah's just gonna give it to me straight. The second person is gonna be Abir from Consensus. That's my bitch. Like,
That's my bitch,
yeah,
too.
we took the course together. We took the course together here in Miami. And ever since we've kind of like just became friends, it's really, yeah, no gatekeep. And they also know they can come to me with any questions, and they're one of the few people that I'm like an open book. I'm like, you can take as much of my knowledge as you want. It's very reciprocated. So I will give flowers where they're due. But we're contemporaries. And so as for boys, I have seen boys amongst themselves like build community really quick. Like even, yeah, the guy here in Pompano that does grills and is just like linked up with one of the big old head grill makers in Pompano. And I'm just like, hey, like we all need to link, and then they leave me on red. I'm like, I don't know, but I'm a pretty bitch, so y'all would look better if I'm standing next to y'all. I don't
100%.
understand what it is.
They ugly.
Like,
I don't even gotta know what they look like. I just know they're ugly.
They could use the arm candy.
They could use the arm candy, like, and bitch, my shit is creative and
And
my
your shit's
point
amazing.
of view. Yeah, but I don't know. Because if anything, they're more competition for each other. Like, they make, you know, perm cut slugs. Like, I fuck around and find out. I don't know.
Yeah, that's just misogyny straight up. It is what it is.
Yeah, and they feel more comfortable. Like, they feel more comfortable probably being, like, all together in their own lane, whereas
Yeah.
they can't see anything else or any other way to do it. So, babes, make your little perms and your slugs all day long.
Which I'm not mad at. Again, that's like the traditional, that's where I'm coming from. That's where I'm stepping off of, right? That's like the foundation of what the stuff that I do now is coming from. But I'm just like, whatever. I'm just happy that I've been able to find my own community and that I don't really, like if I live by your praise, I die by your, what is that?
Criticism?
By your criticism,
Yeah.
yeah. Like, so I just, as much as it kind of hurts and it makes me feel a little bit lonely, I'm also like, it's really nothing I'm not new to. Like, I started this shit as a kid in my room with nobody to tell me what the fuck to do. I'm very used to figuring it out on my own. So, yeah. I just don't want to like, yeah, repeat that same like weird cycle of just like feeling like, oh, like I'm not about to sit here and support other people. That's why I feel like I was very open with Goldface, and I was just like very excited to meet him.
Yeah, like you don't want to like portray or project those same experiences that you went through.
Yeah, because it's very discouraging.
And it would be weird, bitch. Like, I don't know, we're not naturally the weird like that.
We're not.
That would be like way too strategic for no reason. Cause yeah, she's such a sweetheart that like lives right here. You know, like yeah, two femmes coming together.
Yeah, and there was a moment, like maybe like 5-6 years ago, where there were a lot of small creators on Instagram that were getting ripped off. And it still happens to this day, but it was being spoken about a lot. And like being a creator during that era, like stressed me out so bad to the point where like I really didn't even want to post my most exciting pieces out of fear that like AliExpress would take them. And then I'm at a point now where I'm just like, bitch, the ideas live in me. So like you like that idea, you want to steal it and mass produce it. For every one idea, I have like literally a million others. So I'm just so focused on the art. All the other shit that happens, I deal with it as it comes, but I really don't let it affect me from making and focusing on the art, getting the orders out, and growing. Like, the thievery will come, it'll just make us more iconic.
No,
like,
literally.
And I mean, I think that really speaks to the power of the art and not the power of the products. You know, like, yes, this is like something that is jewelry and that you can buy and wear and it's cool or whatever, but that's not what it's really about. Like for you as a maker, like it's really about a process. It's really about like time. It's about intention. Other people are gonna wear it and they're gonna feel cool about it, but like that's not even, I mean, I don't know if, like, I'm sure it's great that Iota Beery wore it on a cover, but, like, that's not even what it's about for you, right?
No. And that, for me, was more so, like, a testament to my dedication, where I'm like, wow, you know, I've been doing this shit for so long now that I get to be in the room with other really dedicated, talented, like, people that have dedicated themselves to their craft.
I was working hard as fuck.
Oh, as fuck. Those people pull you up. It was more of that for me than I got, you know what I mean? It's not, and that's why even when people ask me like, oh, who do you want to make grills for? Who do you want to wear your stuff next? Who do you want to collab with? I'm like, I am literally so open. Like, I don't know what I don't know, and I would have never even asked to be in Io's mouth, but that's the perfect person to have worn my thing. So I'm just like.
Like, shit, who knows? Next could be Martha Stewart.
What? No, I am not doing no girls from Martha Stewart.
Well, but that's an interesting question, right? Because it's like, yes, you want to work with people who are equally as dedicated to their craft as you are to yours, you know. And like, is there a line, right? Is there a boundary for like who can and who should or who should not wear your grills, especially at that level?
Yeah, at that level where it's something so like at that point it's something cultural. If I'm putting jewelry on a celebrity, you know, somebody bigger, that we're doing something cultural. So at that point, I definitely do get a little bit more like picky in terms of like, do our views align? Do I want to adorn you like that? And I think anybody that's ever bought my piece, anybody that's ever worn pieces of mine can attest to the sort of magical feeling that you possess once you wear a piece from Mental Gardens. Like, I think it's more than just, oh, you just look cool, whatever. It's something deeper than that. So, yeah, I would definitely be picky. Like, for example, Walmart hit me up to do a collab with them. Wally World. And, you know, maybe it could have been cute, like, yeah, you know, we're out here with the I don't align with Walmart. Like, I don't want to.
What the fuck would they have done with you?
I don't know. They had just opened up an e-commerce thing, and they wanted me to create like this small collection to like get hype. And I'm like, I don't think
Interesting.
I'm gonna be the one. And I politely declined that. I was on the call with them and everything because I saw it all the way through.
Right.
And I was like, I'm good. Another thing that I've declined recently, actually, somebody came up to me and was like, oh, I want you to be a part of this runway show that we're hosting in Berlin. And you know, so I get on the call, we're both pretty excited, and then it turns out, like, not only do I have to pay them to be on it.
What?
Yeah, $2,000. But they're selling points to
I'm
me.
speechless.
Yeah, me too. They're selling points to me where, oh, at our last ones, we had Kim Kardashian there. I do not want Kim Kardashian to, like, approve my products. I don't care.
Exactly.
That's not somebody that I need approval from. Like, that's not. And then they're like, oh, yeah, Getty Images. And I'm like, okay, cool, dope.
Wow.
I've literally operated in the underground for so long. I'm not about to pay you $2,000
Crazy.
to have Getty Images. I don't care. I much rather give $2,000. If I'm going to throw $2,000 out, I will give it to Masisi Radio. I will give it to Bra. There's no. That shit really actually.
Thank you for saying that. Because, you know, there's a lot of people that would, and they'd be, I'll give you 3.
Yeah,
You
they'll
know
be
what
like,
I
oh, yeah, Kim Kardashian. I'm
Crazy.
not.
But you know what? It's a really interesting conversation because I mean the main thing of Masisi Radio, like the reason for me, like my reason for this existing, is that this is a space to give voice to people who want to celebrate each other here. You know, this is not a place for some famous DJ to come through and all of a sudden Masisi Radio is important. No,
we've been important.
We've been important.
Just by existing.
Exactly, and the people in this room are important. The people outside are important. The people on this block are important. Your fellow filmmakers, jewelry makers, painters, whatever. No matter how many followers, no matter where their shit, whatever gallery it is, it doesn't matter. The fact is that they are human beings, and they have interesting ideas, and they are to be celebrated.
Yeah.
You know? And shifting that culture, in particular in Miami, I think is a really, really difficult place because this is a city that thrives on institutional validation, right? Like you are important now that you have you're in Io's mouth, right? Like.
And I'm not even gonna lie to you, I've definitely felt that.
100%.
Like after
100%.
that, stepping out, it's been different and it's been nice, but again, like I don't live for the praise.
Exactly, but and it's like I think we have the thing is like we have to ask ourselves like why is that the marker of importance? Why is that the marker of success?
I think it depends. Like if you were me and like you felt like that was the marker for success, I would remind you to look where your confidence levels are at, because. Again, right? For me, that was a big deal because I'm in the room with like somebody who's tenured or somebody who's just super skilled and someone I can really respect. But I wasn't like excited to come back home and be like, yeah, everybody's gonna praise me. And I praise myself through the work that I do, making sure it gets out in the world and people get to see it. That for me is the praise. So like, if you're making stuff, if you're selling things and you're feeling deflated because nobody's buying, nobody's liking your post, nobody's following you, you don't feel like you're getting the support, then really ask yourself, why are you doing this? Is this something that you're doing to get attention?
Exactly.
Or is it something that you're doing because it bleeds out of you? And if you don't do it, you die. There's a difference. Like,
Damn. Can you say that one more time for the people in the back?
Okay. What do you do this for? Do you do it for the love, the praise, the show off? But that does feel good too. I'm not saying like, oh, it's not a part that feels good. I love having been able to easily connect with people because now they feel like a door is open, right? They like come up to me and congratulate me. Now I'm asking you how your night is, like, right? But that's not what you do it for, like.
That's not what's at the end of the tunnel.
No, I feel like at the end of the tunnel is like being able to like rest in your coffin and be like, fuck, like I did something that I like evolved. I don't know. I like worked on my purpose. Like
you know, and I was having this conversation the other day, and I was really like contending. I was like, I was in existential mode. It's very similar to this. Like, what am I doing this for? And I knew it. I've always known it, you know, and I maybe didn't always verbalize it. But going back to like what we were talking about, like these spaces of like this misogynist, these spaces of misogyny and patriarchy, and like I realized like how important it is for myself to create spaces for others, you know, to know that there's like people younger than me, there's people who are in my field or people outside my field, and knowing that I can help create a space for them to blossom as well. And knowing that, like, I don't give a fuck if I work with the most famous actors or whatever the fuck, but knowing that I'm helping cultivate a space for other people to create their work, you know, to like fulfill their visions. We all have like really big images and ideas, and like just having the opportunity to fulfill that is really, that's for me the goal, and also to be able to open up doors and open up spaces for other people, and for them to be able to open up doors for other people and to continue building. Especially in Miami, where very few people, I'll say, are opening up doors for us.
Yeah, very few people, for sure. Yeah, no, I kind of do have this feeling like, okay, how involved is too involved in my own universe? And at what point do I step out into the world and create spaces for other artists and stuff like that? It's definitely something that I want to do. I am just so overwhelmed all the time. Like, I don't know, I'm not here to save anybody. As like crazy as that may sound, like, I don't know, like it's so hard for me to be like, okay, yeah, let me do this for myself. And then let me also create spaces for other people to do this. I'm like, y'all, if y'all like this shit, just watch me. And I hope that just by watching the lifestyle, like it pushes you to pursue yours.
Yeah. But I also think that's where you are right now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Course, yeah.
And I think that especially as like you gain more capacity, you gain more resources, like that will shift too.
Yeah.
You know, because there's a bunch of other V's out there that don't have the door that you or didn't even know how to approach it the way that you had like such an internal drive. But not everybody has that, you know.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that they shouldn't be able to do these kinds of things, you know.
I'm also like really operating under capitalism.
Fuck that.
I mean,
but yes.
That's why I'm always like with a fucking stomach ache and I'm like panicking all the time.
Right.
Because as you know, I need to perform within capitalism in order to survive. Because I'm not about to like go live in the woods somewhere. As much as I wanted to do that. I almost did that straight out of high school at Markham Park. I almost bought a tent and lived at the park. Like, from just how much I wanted to remove myself from all of that. But yeah, having to operate under capitalism I feel like it does make my journey. Like, a symptom of that is like the quote unquote like selfishness, right? If I didn't have to have money in order to sustain myself, I wouldn't be like taking on as many orders as I need to. So, you know, I wouldn't have to like hit all these numbers, and I could just still create from the heart, but the lifestyle would look different. It looks the way that it looks now because I'm forced to perform under capitalism. Like, I need to get people to buy my stuff so I can keep making things because I'm self-funded. Nobody's giving me a check at the end of the day, so.
Yeah, and we got to close out, but I am curious about what this work, what your ethos, what your values looks like in the shape outside of the capitalist structure. I'm curious, like, yeah, what would that do for you if you knew that you didn't have to make a product, you know?
If I didn't have to make products, I'd probably be hosting a bunch of workshops. I would probably be, just out more in the world. I spend a lot of time behind a desk because I need to. And I think that would be the biggest thing. Like, I feel like if I had still the same position of leadership within the community and I had more free time, I would spend a lot more time with the youth, like June.
Shout out to the youth.
Yeah, shout out to the youth. Like,
that's the future for real.
Yeah, like, and just coaching y'all and just like breathing in mindsets. Yeah. And I would also spend a lot of time with older people, like senior citizens, just making art with them, listening to their stories, black and brown, like senior citizens that have seen the change of like Miami or, you know, the US. Like, I would just spend much more time connecting. I feel like sometimes a lot of my crash outs are because, I bubble myself up so much because I need to. And so, hopefully, you know, that's the future of Mental Gardens. There's a lot more groundwork and, hands-on.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I definitely kind of just took the mic, but I love y'all. You want to close us out with a track?
I got you.
Yes.
Masisi Radio. Bonjour, bonsoir. Naptane Masisi Radio. Bonjour, bonsoir.